Hi everyone. So before I get started, I just want to acknowledge just the seriousness of the situation we all find ourselves in with the pandemic and being in some form of quarantine. The United States, where I live, is just starting to open up the country again, so they're just starting to relax some of the quarantine requirements, but many of us are still staying close to home and staying as careful and safe as we can. So I just want to say that I really hope you and your loved ones are staying safe and healthy. I know it's crazy being in the house. I know at the time of this video, we've been self-quarantined since the middle of March, and now it's the middle of May. So it's been 2 months. And the days blend together, I'm sure, but I really do hope that you're staying healthy and staying safe. One of the things I wanted to talk about, though, connected to the quarantine, is self-retightening our hair. I know many of us, including me, we don't have access to our consultants right now. I know the salon that I usually go to is still closed because of the pandemic and the quarantine. And so I wanted to share some information with you that hopefully will help you if you're considering doing your own self-retightening until you can get back to your consultant. I do have a couple of disclaimers. So the first thing is that I am not a certified trained Sisterlock consultant. And so anything and everything that I share with you, I highly recommend that you run it by your consultant because she knows you and your hair much better than I do. And so just make sure that you confirm things with her before you start doing your Sisterlocks. The second thing that I will say is that this video doesn't take the place of the actual Sisterlock self-retightening class. I just realized that right now, one, many of us don't have access to consultants, and two, and hopefully this is not you, but I know a lot of people have lost jobs in the United States because of the pandemic. And so between the lack of access to a consultant and the lack of access to the funds needed for the class, it just may be almost impossible to take the self-retightening class. So my hope is that this will be just a little bit of a guide and give you a little bit of help if you do feel like you really want to self-retighten your own locks. Okay, so those are my disclaimers. So now we'll jump into it. So there's basically three things that I want to cover today. I want to talk about technique, I want to talk about tools, and then I want to give you a couple of quick tips that I've learned so far as I've been self-retightening my own hair. And then towards the end, I'll kind of give you a sneak peek into the next video I'm going to make and bring to you. So let's talk about technique. Now, I have taken the Sisterlock self-retightening class, and I'll leave a link in the description box below to a review that I did of my experience. I went into the class thinking I was going to get a technique that like doesn't exist anywhere else but just in this, kind of very private Sisterlock universe. And I was very surprised to learn that really self-retightening your Sisterlocks is just doing a 4-point interlocking rotation method. That's all it is. If you're not familiar with interlocking, what I've seen in my research is that there's a 2-point, 3-point, and 4-point interlocking method. And the point is really basically speaking to the number of passes that you're taking your sister or your locking tool through the root of your lock. So it's just the number of times that you're entering into your lock. It also speaks to the space that you enter into. So, top to bottom, right to left, left to right, up and down. Like it speaks to that as well. So if you just search on YouTube right now and just look, well, after you watch this video, then look for it. But if you look for a 4-point interlocking method video, find the one that is best for you and just study that. That will give you the technique that you need to actually do your self-retightening. Okay, so that's the first thing I want to say about technique. Look that up and that'll help you learn how to do it. The second thing I want to talk about are tools. Now, I share in my review of my experience taking the self-retightening class that I struggled a little bit in that class. And a part of it was just dexterity and kind of getting used to interlocking because I had never done it before. But the second thing was really about the tool that I was using. I didn't realize it at that point, but the tool that I was using just wasn't the right tool for me. So if you want to make self-retightening easy for you, you have to go out and find the right tool. And the great thing is you can purchase tools online. So you don't even have to go to the store. You can do it online and get it safely shipped to your home. So I want to talk about the 3 tools I've tried, and I'll share with you the one of these 3 tools that I think is my ideal tool that I use regularly. So first, I'll start off with the first tool I ever tried, which is the actual Sisterlock retightening tool. This is the tool that I got when I took my self-retightening class. And it looks like this, very, very tiny. So that's what it looks like. When I did my research on different types of tools, the recommendation is to use a tool whose the tool itself is not bigger than the base of your lock. So it's great that this tool is this small. So for each of these tools, I want to talk to you about what I like, and I want to talk to you about what I think could be improved to make it better if I were using it. So what I like and what I don't like. So what I like about this tool first, obviously, is the size. But you know what? For me, that's pretty much all I like about this tool. It's not a bad tool. None of these tools are bad, but this tool is not the right tool for me. Let me show you why. One, it has this like dynamic feature where it has that hook, and that hook goes around your lock, and then you can just put the tool through the base of your locks to retighten. I love the idea of this hook. But when I use this tool, I always seem to hit this dynamic feature on the top, and it ends up hooking this hook on the lock next to it and making a tangled mess when I use it. So this is one reason why I don't like this tool for me, is I keep doing this when I shouldn't be doing it. Another thing I don't like about this tool is the material it's made out of. For me and my hands, it's very, very slippery. It slips out of my hands all the time. The good thing is this hook locks the tool onto my hair, so I never like drop it per se, but I just get tired of just it falling out and slipping out of my hand. So for those reasons, even though this is a really good tool, I don't like this tool for me. I have trouble using the Sisterlock brand tool. So I don't use this tool to retighten my hair. When I realized that that was my problem, I started searching online for other options. And so this is the second tool that I tried. I believe the brand is pronounced either Nayu or Nayu, but this is what it looks like. And this is probably backwards to you, but it's Nayyoo. And I purchased this off of Amazon. What I like about this is, one, you get 3 different tools in this container. I think that's great to get 3. And the cost was about $17. And I will leave a link in the description box below if you want to try this tool. This is also good if you're watching and you have more traditional size locks, because I like the fact that it has these different sizes that really varies depending upon the size of the locks that you have. The tool that I use out of the 3 of these the most is this one. So if you're looking at it, from this direction over, I'm using the first one, I guess. It looks like this. Let me tell you what I like, and let me tell you what I don't like. So what I like about this tool is the material. It almost feels like chrome. It's metal, and it just glides through your locks like butter. Like it's just like shoo, shoo, shoo. It's so easy. It pulls through beautifully. I also love the size. It's larger than, let me get the Sisterlock tool. It's larger than the Sisterlock tool. So, for me handling it, it's a lot easier for me to handle this tool than the Sisterlock tool because of the size and because it's longer. So I really like that. What I don't like about this tool for locks my size is that the base is so large. So I kind of feel like the base being so large, it was hard for me to really get a really good retightening, because I felt like I had to stop 1 or 2 passes more than I could have, because this was just too large to get through. So I love everything about this tool except the size of this just made it really difficult to really do a really good retightening. So that's the only reason why I don't use this tool anymore. But love the metal, love the length, love how easily it went through the locks beautifully, but just too large for a size. But if you have traditional locks, I think any of these tools will be great for you to try. So I do recommend you trying them if you want to. The final tool that I'm going to show you, and this is the tool that I do use the most now, is I believe it's called the Nappy Lock tool. It looks like this. So that's a nappy lock tool. And there's really nothing that I don't like about it. So it's more likes than dislikes. One, I love the material. It's made out of a metal, just like the one I just showed you, the second option. And so for me, I think I do better with metal materials in these lock tools as opposed to plastic like the Sisterlock tool is. So I love that it's metal. I love the size. It's tiny. This is tiny enough to go through the base of my lock. So I love that. And I love the length. It's just a little bit longer than the Sisterlock tool, so it's easy for me to grab the other end and pull it through. And this slides through my locks as well very, very easily. This product before tax and before shipping was about $23. So, pricier than the tool from Amazon, but for me, it's worth it because I can easily manipulate it. It's small enough to go through my locks, and I don't really have a lot of issues with it. The only, if I had to make up something I don't like, in all honesty, is, sometimes because it comes unhooked from the lock. So with the Sisterlock tool, you have this locking method that hooks onto your lock so it always stays on. This one's kind of like a needle and thread. So sometimes the lock towards the end, it might come out. So you have to kind of re-thread the lock through it. But a lot of these tools have that where you have to do that, right? So that's not a problem for me because it has more pros than cons. So out of the three I've showed you, the nappy lock tool is a tool that I like the best. And I'll leave a link in the description box below for you to look at this tool as well, okay? So we've covered technique, the 4-point interlocking method. We've covered tools, and I've told you that this nappy lock tool is my favorite tool, right? So we've covered those. Finally, I want to give you just a full few tips, okay? So the first tip I will say is take your time self-retightening. My Sisterlock consultant can do my whole head in 2 to 2.5 hours. I'm not there yet. I can't do my hair in 2 or 2.5 hours. So, and I know that. So what I do is I pick a weekend and I just divide my hair up into its sections. And then I literally just give myself the weekend. And normally it takes me all in about 5 hours for me to do my whole head. And that's with me stopping and starting for different things, whether it's to eat or to, take care of my daughter or, just different things, errands, cleaning the house, all these things that we do on the weekend. In between all that, I'm doing my locks. So give yourself time. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. The second thing is have a pair of hair shears on hand. Sometimes you may have some locks that connect to each other because maybe you didn't separate them after washing or things like that. So you may have to just do a little clip, which my Sisterlock consultant does occasionally. She'll have to clip to separate some locks sometimes. So just have some hair shears on tap just in case you need it. Also, sometimes I am the queen of connecting my locks together, right? I'm the queen of oh my gosh, I've retightened 2 locks and I've combined locks. What I've found that helps me to correct that problem is water. So have some water on hand. And what I do is, if the 2 locks are connected and I catch it early enough, which usually I do, I just lightly spritz that section with water, kind of squish it in, and then I can gently undo the combining of those 2 locks. Those are the few tips that I have. Take your time. Have some hair shears on hand if you need them. And if you connect your locks together and you catch it early enough, use some water to soften it, and then you should be gently able to untangle those 2 locks. Okay? So we've talked about technique. We've talked about tools. I've shared some tips. Leave some more tips in the description box below because I know many of you are probably pros of self-retightening by now. So if I've missed anything, leave in the description box below. Before I go, the next video I plan on doing is focused on an issue that I've shared with you throughout my journey so far. And I've had an issue with losing locks from the root. This is an issue I have not completely solved. It doesn't happen as often, but it still has happened. And so I really want to fix that issue. So my next video, I'm going to talk to you about some things that I'm going to work on that's internal and some things that are external for my hair itself. And I want to take you on this journey because I feel like many of you, or maybe not many of you, but some of you may have the same issue or know people that have the same issue, or maybe something that may come up in the future. Hopefully not, but it might. And hopefully going along the journey with me may help you out with an issue that you may be having, like losing locks. So more to come on that. So I hope that you're doing well. Thank you for watching this long video. It's one of my longer videos, so thank you for going to the end. Again, stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.